Story time on how I found out that my daughter is type 1 diabetic. My name is Jasmine. If y'all like the content, like and subscribe, leave a comment. My daughter was out with a friend of the family that I was dating, and she was with his sister at their house. So I believe that they had went to Waffle House and they had went out to eat. Well, before they had went out to eat, she had been there for like maybe like a couple of days, and like she wasn't feeling like herself. Like basically, my daughter had lost a ton of weight. Like she had got so small. She was real thin. I'll post some pictures in this video how thin she was, but she was real small, like real skinny. And people was telling me like, maybe you need to take her to the hospital, take her to the doctor, and like see what's going on. And took her to the doctor. They really didn't do nothing. They didn't run any tests, anything. They didn't do anything. Basically, they just checked her urine. Told them that she had been urinating on herself. She had been peeing on herself for a while, and she was like 3 years old, and she was already potty trained at that point. So she shouldn't have been like using the restroom on herself or peeing on herself throughout the night. Checked her urine. They said that her urine was there was nothing wrong. Basically, she had like a UTI, but they did not check her blood, which is another reason why I'm doing this video for educational purposes. So if your child shows any of the symptoms that my daughter showed, it's best to go and get them checked. Out that Usher, his son, is is also type 1 diabetic. His son showed the same signs, and ketoacidosis, where you end up in the hospital sick and you basically find out that you're type 1 diabetic. To the story, y'all, because I'm getting sidetracked. But yeah, so she was with a friend of the family with them for a while. Called me on the phone and they was like, yeah, she's not feeling well. She can barely move. And I was like, what? That's like that's not like my daughter. Like she was very active, as a child. She was a normal child. So I don't know what went wrong. Yeah, and I'm not gonna lie, like at the time, because I'm gonna be transparent. I want to be transparent throughout this video to just be real. At the time, I was like going through homelessness. I didn't have anywhere to live. I didn't have anywhere to stay. So my daughter was eating a lot of McDonald's. I'm not gonna lie, she was eating McDonald's. I didn't have a kitchen to cook in. I had family, but not like that. So basically, I was just trying to make the best of my situation. All I had was a car at the time, so I was doing the best that I could. It was just me and my daughter, you know. And I did have a boyfriend at the time. I had been with him for since I was like, I think what like 13, but that's a whole nother story, and I have to get into that another time. But was with him up until I was like 21. Okay, so back to the story. I was homeless, didn't have anywhere to stay. So my daughter was eating a lot of like fast food, stuff like that. And at that, I was 21 when I had my daughter. By the time she got sick, I was probably about 23, somewhere around there. But yeah, I was 25 when she got sick. I want to say, was I 25, 26? Somewhere around, I don't even know. Anyway, on the phone, they told me that she was sick. She wasn't moving. She wasn't really walking. I told them to meet me at the nearest Jack in the Box. We met up, and well, me and my boyfriend's sister had met up at the Jack in the Box. Basically, had my daughter in her hand like this, like she was holding her, and I was like, just shocked at the time because I'm just like, y'all telling this story is crazy, and I'm in my closet hiding from my kids, but just so that I can do this video. I am trying to be more active when it comes to content, and if y'all like the content, if y'all like it, subscribe. And I'll do more videos. And I have a lot of different crazy things that I done been through in my life that I can and experience that I can bring to my supporters. And we're gonna be a family, period. So yeah, she brought her to me and she was holding her like this. Like, and I'm like, why you holding her? Like, why you can't just put her down? Like she can walk. And she was like, she cannot walk right now. Like she's weak. She cannot walk. So I'm like, okay. So this is where I'm starting to realize, like, okay, this is deep. Like this is worse than I thought. So then At this time, I had a minivan, so I laid her. I tried to lay her across the seat, and when I laid her across the seat, like she literally was like, well, I tried to sit her up at first, and when I set her up, she kind of slumped over to the side. So then I laid her down. It was so crazy because when I laid her down, like it's almost like she still wanted to get up. She still wanted to do, like, you know how like an older person is like honorary and they don't want to listen. They don't want help. My daughter was like that. She didn't want help. She didn't want nothing. She wanted to do it herself. So she was trying to get up and she was still trying to talk to me, and like I guess she was trying to tell me like something was wrong, but she couldn't really speak. So basically, I was panicked and I tried to rush to like the nearest emergency room. Remind you, I'm young, so I don't really know what to do. I didn't know if it what kind of situation. I mean, I knew it was an emergency, but I didn't know where to go. So if you're in a situation like that, you will understand what I'm saying. Like I was in a panic and I didn't know what to do, so I went to like the nearest like ER. I mean, urgent care. And when I got there, my daughter, I literally had just had my son. My son was like 6 months old at the time. My daughter was 5, and my son was 6 months. So yeah, I'm trying to get my son out the car. I'm trying to get my daughter, hold her at the same time. Y'all, when I tell y'all, it was one of the worst days of my life, the worst experiences of my life because I could not get both of them out the car at the same time. So I'm just like, okay. So I ended up basically grabbing him, putting him on the sidewalk, grabbed my daughter, and I ran her into the ER. And baby, when I tell you, they literally ran out there and they was like, there is nothing that we can do for her here. We need to get her to the emergency room. This is like she's in ketoacidosis. It's something wrong that we can't fix. So, who y'all, telling this story is not easy because when I tell you, I had some sleepless nights where I did not sleep because I felt like my daughter would basically, I'm just gonna be honest, like not make it. You know, I just did the best that I could do. You know, so when they tried to rush her to the, I mean, actually end up coming to pick her up. The hospital came and picked her up and rushed her to. Um, found out that she was type 1 diabetic that day. She was basically in ketoacidosis and she was in a coma for like 3 days. 3 days. So yeah, some of the symptoms that she had was extreme weight loss, urinating, peeing on herself, could not hold her pee for nothing. Like she could not hold it. Say the main thing that I would say if your child is experiencing anything like this, if they are losing weight, drastic weight, and you don't know why, they're eating and everything, still losing weight, like you know something is not right. And it's like I wish that I would have knew the signs, but I didn't know anybody that was like type 1 diabetic or that was, you know. So honestly, there is no way that I would have knew. So yeah. But if y'all want the next or like a part two to this, like after she was diagnosed, then let me know and I will do another video.